Are you ready for a lot of epoxy resin?
Yeah, this is gonna be a long week for sure. We're basically this week gonna get this plywood shower cabin, take it all apart and apply epoxy resin in every part, every wood part, to become waterproof, because this is gonna be a shower cabin, so need to be really waterproof, and that's gonna be a lot of work.
We are gonna try to do this in 1 week.
I'm not sure if we can do it, but let's start today.
Yeah.
So let's get started. I'm Duca.
And I'm Roberta.
And together we are building our own tiny shipping container house.
So don't forget to subscribe.
And to join us every Monday for a new episode.
So before we disassemble the whole shower cabin, we have some adjustments to do.
Yeah, the thing is, we still have some small pieces that are gonna make sure this is watertight in the future. And also the trimming of this, we still didn't screw this in place. So the first part of this episode is gonna be some woodworking and then epoxy resin.
So
Now it's for real, let's get started.
it's about time to fix a mistake.
We need to admit, we did this wrong. We forgot to take in consideration the thickness of this plywood, and we end up with this 1 centimeter too thick.
So we are adding 1 centimeter.
And then it's gonna be fixed. It's an easy fix, but we're gonna lose 1 centimeter of the internal space of the shower cabin. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. So let's do what we gotta do.
But we want 1 centimeter inside the shampoo box.
Yeah, that's true. There's always a good part of everything. All of that is just to guarantee that we have an angle here, otherwise the water can drip and go to the back. Like this, the water is gonna always drip this way because we just create an angle this way.
It's low.
Yeah, it's low. And then, yeah, it's low. Yeah. It's pretty good. You can keep going now. There's always a small mistakes, not always, but it's normal, happens. We forgot that this gap here need to have this opening because the panel is gonna slide all the way to here. So now we need to chisel this off, but it's at least a small fix. I think it's gonna be fine. We'll get there. That's it. Doesn't look perfect because it doesn't really matter actually. We're gonna cover with epoxy this, so at least now the panel will fit here. That's good. Let's keep going.
I think that's it for today, babe.
That was a long day. I mean, this is the easy part. Yeah, we did at least all the back parts of the panels. Tomorrow we start doing the front part of the panels, and then that's another game. Because this, we don't need to have a good finishing. This doesn't need to look good, but on the front part, that needs to look good. So we need to apply clear epoxy, and then filler, and then sand, and then fill the gaps, and you know, the whole thing again, just like the bathtub. So let's go home and rest, and tomorrow we're back. See you guys tomorrow.
A lot of people have been asking lately where we get our musics from.
Yeah, lately we have got a lot of good comments saying that the music we are choosing is really good, and it makes us really happy that yeah, actually we use a music database called Artgrid. Well, of course nothing's for free.
We paid $200 to use the system for 1 year.
But the cool thing is that we've been using so much on the past months that they contact us and they sent us a special link now.
So if you are a creator and you want some music to use on your videos, you can use the link below.
Yeah, just so you guys know, we will make a small commission out of the link, but you won't pay anything extra for that.
Actually, you have a perk of
yeah. If you use our link, you're gonna have 2 extra months for the same price. That means if you go to the website, you're gonna get 12 months. If you go through our link, you're gonna have 14 months for the same price.
That's really good.
So it's a really good deal. But for now, we need to go back there and check. Yeah, by the way, the house is there. And we're just here to get some lemons to make some juice tonight. Yeah, we need to go back and check if the resin is done, right?
Yeah.
So let's check the resin.
So these are the panels for our shower cabin, and now they are watertight.
That's a really important thing. If they're not watertight, they're gonna absorb water because it's the most humid place in the house, the shower cabin. Yeah, I don't need to explain, that's really logical actually. It's so hot today. Here is weird. One day is hot, the other day is cold. The place we live is just like a roller coaster of weather. I mean, not that hot, not that cold, but today seems really hot. Yeah, you can tell.
I'm glad that these are watertight now because he's sweating on the top of our panels.
Yeah. By the way, after we filmed the first episode about our shower cabin 2 weeks ago. The link's here. A lot of people comment saying that this would be a terrible project. No, they didn't say like that, but they said that we were gonna have problems with the wood because the plywood would absorb water from the shower and would rot really easily.
If we leave the panels without any paint,
any treatment,
it would happen for sure.
Yeah, and if we paint with like a common paint, probably would happen also. But the plan was since the beginning to treat the plywood the same way we treated the bathtub.
Yeah, we can leave the link here.
That's a cool playlist. We built our bathtub from scratch. Took us a month, but we are really proud. Looks pretty good after a month of work. A lot of work.
So going back to the panels, the idea was to build the panels with the same process as we build the bathtub.
Yeah, so this process is called Plyglass. Basically, it's plywood with epoxy resin. The good thing is the epoxy resin is not just like a paint, like a surface paint. It actually impregnates the plywood. That means goes inside of the fiber of the plywood, and the plywood becomes almost like a rock. Of course, it won't go all the way into the plywood, but the first layer of wood gets a lot of resin, and it's just really watertight right now.
That's really good.
But the truth is that the shower box don't need to be only watertight, it also needs to be
pretty.
Yeah, of course, we put so much love into this house that we want the house to look pretty, of course. And to be pretty takes a long time.
Yeah, it might be pretty on the image, but if you look really close, it's really hard to get it good, in a good shape.
Yeah, a lot of people comment saying that we should leave the plywood as it is with this color, but it's just, I don't know, with our knowledge and with our skills, it's almost impossible to get a perfect epoxy resin everywhere and leveled. And I mean, if we had like 10 kilos of epoxy resin, we would just put on the top and let, you know, drip to the sides, and then it would be perfect. But we would use a lot of epoxy resin.
Expensive.
Yeah, so we decided to paint. And to paint, we need to apply filler, and we need to sand and filler and sand and filler and blah, 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 blah.
And it's gonna take a long time.
That's gonna take a lot longer than we have this week. That means we're gonna leave this for next week.
But
for now,
if you don't know, we have a weekly series. Every Monday we post a new video about us building our own tiny shipping container house.
Yeah, this is episode 78, I guess.
I guess 79.
Some of you already watch all the episodes, but if you just got here today, we think welcome first. Yeah, welcome. And we think we should go back and watch from the beginning. Yeah,
link for the playlist, so you can binge watch our series.
Yeah. Don't forget to leave us comments along the way if you see any. Just give us some slack, because in the beginning we really didn't know what we were doing. Just have fun. See you guys next week.